Well, hello and welcome to Knife Delights. I'm sitting out here on this beautiful fall morning, sitting out here in front of my old moss garden here. Needs to get some debris cleaned up out of it, some of the tree litter. This video it's a response to a comment that I received, and it deals with refurbishing knives. And so a viewer by the name of Steve left a comment, and it was a comment on the video where I refurbished my grandpa's case Stockman. And I just want to read the question to you, and then I want to answer it. I thought it'd be easier to just do a video and talk about it rather than to try to type out a long answer that may or may not make sense. So anyway, Steve asks, forgive my asking, but why do you want an old knife to look new? The patina you removed from the blades not only gave the knife character, it also protected the blades from active red rust. If you want a shiny and new looking, retire Grandpa's knife, get a new red bone. And then he gives a case model number, for example. Overcleaning destroys any and all collector value, removes its history, and brings the authenticity of the knife into question. It could be a Franken knife. Overcleaning, preservation of what is there is best. Get rid of any active red rust, strop the edges, using a stone only if stropping didn't restore a usable edge, and so on. A 30-plus-year-old knife does not need to look new. Well, I thought that was a very interesting question, a very interesting comment. And so, Steve, I'm going to try to attempt to answer your question here. First off, I thoroughly enjoy restoring the old knives, or refurbishing, cleaning. There's also someone left a comment on, well, you didn't refurbish it, you just gave it a good cleaning. Well, potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Part of refurbishing is cleaning. So I call it refurbishing. We can call it cleaning, whichever word you prefer to use. I guess in particular with my grandfather's knife, and I did not go back and look at the video, but I know there was some junk on this blade, and if you do remove just that old junk that's been there a long time, then you leave a bare spot in the blade, and the blade does not look even. Now, I did do some cleaning on this and some polishing, but I did not try to make it look brand new. And as you can see, there is the patina is starting to come back on it. I'm not trying to make it look new. I will never carry this knife. It still has some of Grandpa's character to it. So, you know, I don't take them to a sander with superfine sandpaper and try to shine them and give them a mirror finish. As you can see, there's patina down in there, especially down in and around the tangs. But I do thoroughly clean, and on some of them I polish a little more than others. But Grandpa's knife's never going to be carried. So this is a family heirloom. So the steps I took on this was to preserve this knife exactly as you said, trying to preserve it, because I want this knife to look nice 200 years from now as this gets passed down through the family. So you can argue I went too far with it, and that's fine. That's your opinion. And before I go any further, folks, there's no right or wrong answer to any of this. The next topic is the collector's value, and you're decreasing the value of it. If you have a truly historic knife, like I did a video on my friend's World War II Camillus, what was it, the Mark II fighting knife? Or actually it was a deck knife, I think is what they referred to it as. But anyway, same thing. There was paint and stuff on the blade and this and that. All I did was very carefully remove some of that paint, but I did not take the polisher to it. I did not remove all of the patina. I got rid of any and all rust that I could find on it and left it as is. That is a truly historical knife, and I absolutely understand Steve's point. You don't want to take something like that, as long as it's not solid rust, as long as it's got a good even patina on it, you know, just let it be. And I totally agree with that. A lot of the knives that I do take down and try to shine up, some of it's for education, because there are people out there that want to know how to do that. Secondly, most of the knives I'm doing on are like camp knives, electrician's knives, and there's millions of them out there. There's no intrinsic value to them other than what that knife means to me. And I guess I get so much joy, so much pleasure in bringing them knives back to life. A lot of them have serious rust issues. So when a knife like that is seriously rusted, yes, I do soak it in the rust remover, and I do take the cleaning compound, I clean the blades, I clean the bolsters. If nothing else, to get it back to where everything looks even. Those knives most likely will never be carried. They will remain in my collection. They're somewhat wet, if you will, from the mineral oil, or maybe a small film of the mineral oil. And if there was patina on them, the patina will come back. They will come back, but I just want to make sure that they are very well preserved. Here's an example of what I think Steve is talking about, though. This is an old-timer knife, the Schrade 125 OT. And just look at the patina on that blade there. Not only is it dark, it's nice and even, and I really don't see any rust on it. Just a beautiful knife. This knife was bought for me by Big J. Yeah, I was down in Illinois visiting, and we went to the flea market, and I had spent all my money on some other things, and well, Jerry got this for me, so thanks, Jerry. Excuse me. So something like this is something I've been mulling over. I don't want to take all of that great patina off of that blade, but there is some rust down inside, down in the channel, so I will probably very carefully either sand or maybe just drop some of the rust remover down into the channel and let it work its magic and not, you know, submerge the whole knife in it. And then I will probably soak it in mineral oil. Once again, you're going to get everything lubricated. I could put it in the sonic cleaner, let it do its things about getting any dirt and grime and everything in and amongst the springs where you can't see. There was a price tag on there, so this is all sticky. I want to remove that. But the rest of this, even the patina on the bolsters is nice and even. Even though it's dull looking, it's nice and even, and it fits with the age of the knife. Excuse me. So, Steve, I'm going to agree with you wholeheartedly on this one. I'm going to leave this pretty much as is, try to get rid of the rust down in there, and we're going to try to preserve this wonderful piece of cutlery here. Some other things that I'm mulling over is, believe it or not, I went to the antique store the other day, and this guy gave me one heck of a deal on a pair of meat cleavers. Now, cleavers are cutlery, and I love all things cutlery, so he gave me a price I couldn't refuse. And look at this massive meat cleaver. This is actually a keen cutter, and I took a picture and did an image search online, and you can tell with the way this is here, the image came up, and it is a keen cutter. The example I saw, it had keen cutter stamped into there. This is rusted and used and everything, so I cannot find that marking on here. But I'm 99% sure this is a keen cutter. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try to neutralize the rust on this thing and probably not do too much more to it. What a piece of Americana right here. Look at how that's been beat down. It's folded over. And that is probably because they were using a hammer or something. They were cutting through bones and stuff with this thing. So, wow, what a piece of history. One thing I did go further on and continue to go further on is this old Marbles hand axe that Ray from North Star Knife Review sent me. If you've seen any of these videos, you know, well, it's off now. I've gotten it removed, but there's an arm that swings around with a guard up to here. I couldn't even get that out. The covers were broke on it. I finally got those off. This is a piece that I think a complete restoration is going to look very nice. So anyway, to wrap this up, I got the questions, you know, and I've asked this question while I've done during the process of doing a refurbishing video. Hey folks, where do you think I ought to go with this? Should I go further? Should I leave it alone? And you know what? Sometimes the answers are about 50-50. So there's no right or wrong answer. I will take exception when Steve, when you use the word collectors, say this, because the opinions of the collectors that I've run across just on this channel and through the comments, some say yes, leave it alone. Others say no, I like mine all cleaned up. That's the way I like to collect them. So collectors are not all the same, just like we don't all collect the same type of knives. The condition of the knives is also a personal choice also. Steve, thank you so much for leaving this comment and you know, prompting me to do this video. It's an important question. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. And everyone please be respectful in your comments as you always are. But, you know, discuss this. What do you think? Where do you go? How far should you go? So until next time, have a very delightful day.